to say that FIFA versus Pro Evolution Soccer is basically the Messi v Ronaldo of gaming debates. Both have their unique selling points. Both have dedicated followings who religiously buy the game year in, year out, whilst equally there's some not so favourable reviews. One person will scream one thing, another will scream the opposite, but how about this for a concept? There's room for both games in this world. So put down your pitchforks and stop the debate. We can help choose the right game for you, based on what things you like the most. We'll do it by comparing features like gameplay, graphics, and the game modes themselves, and hopefully that'll tell you what side of the derby you fall on. Now, it's no secret that FIFA 20's had another difficult year when it comes to gameplay, and that's following on from an even worse year in FIFA 19. It's not really the most fun game in the world to play. Matches are prone to being slow, often at pedestrian pace as players put loads of defenders behind the ball. Shooting is very random, and there's not a great deal of variation on the pitch. If you're playing up against AI, there's not really much difference between Barcelona and Barnsley. You're also forced into playing certain styles of football to have any chance of winning online. Headers are impossible to score and crash your game on occasion, and some skill moves are completely overpowered. Every time, this game is exploited, and this year is no different.
Things have got to change on both sides.
On the plus side for FIFA, it's a much easier game to pick up and play. Casual gamers will probably be able to learn the game a little bit quicker in comparison to its counterpart PES. Now, Pro Evo gameplay is extremely rewarding, but will still feel alien to players who are used to FIFA. Passes don't really snap together as quickly, and it's a game where learning to hunt the ball can make a huge difference. You won't get away with the AI defending and letting the computer do the work. You have to do it yourself. In contrast, PES's gameplay is a lot more versatile, and you'll see a greater variation of goals, even if it's trickier to actually pull off skill moves, etc. And that makes it a lot harder for 12-year-olds who just drag back constantly to get the better of you on this game, so just bear that in mind. Overall, FIFA is the pick if you want to hop on almost immediately and start scoring banging goals, whereas PES is probably the better option if you're looking for a challenge and it's less prone to the mechanics being abused.
Has a pop!
Now, for graphics, we've got to the point where it's hard to complain about any set of graphics. Everything looks good these days. FIFA is excellent at replicating a real-world matchday feel. For the most part, it looks like a TV broadcast, and licensed player likenesses are really good. Some big-name players have gone most of the season without their real faces. Bruno Fernandes, I'm looking at you, son. But that's always going to happen. The game does fall down when it comes to updating players' hair and styles. Stars like Neymar, who change their hair after every suspicious trip to Carnival, are mostly left alone. The only top knot Cristiano Ronaldo has is on his bootlaces, and Paul Pogba's still rocking a trim from 2 years ago, and he's had 14 since then. PES is much quicker to update player models for the most part. Ronaldo's hair didn't take long to get in the game and dropped with an update that also added Erling Haaland's face, something that's still not in FIFA. Neymar's hair has gone through various iterations this season, including the strange pink phase, and it's been reflected in the game well. PES's player models can look a little glassy-eyed on the verge of tears, or worse yet, may just stare straight into your soul. Look at him. He knows what you've done. PES's graphical quality ramps up massively if you're playing in 4K or on a decent PC, but matches can look grainy for those that aren't. FIFA tends to look cleaner in most respects, and it's less likely to appear choppy for those who don't have an up-to-date tech setup. On the flip side, FIFA is far more prone to visual glitches and just strange things happening. Both games have hit the height of what they can achieve on the current hardware, so this debate is likely to become a lot fiercer when the PS5 and Xbox X's power is beginning to be harnessed. FIFA's your game if you're looking for a real-world atmosphere and feel, but if you prefer better-looking player models that will get speedier updates, PES is the one for you.
That could be a big one.
Now, 3 words will split a lot of people when it comes to deciding which game has the stronger online modes. FIFA Ultimate Team. Or FUT, if you want to convert it to one word. On the one hand, it's easily the most addictive, time-consuming, and competitive online mode in any football game. On the other hand, it's easily the most addictive, time-consuming, and competitive online mode in any football game. Ultimate Team has die-hard fans who will spend hours of their weekend grinding games for random rewards. You've probably decided by now whether that's a good use of your time, but either way, Ultimate Team is very hard to enjoy if you don't get lucky with your packs or you don't spend a lot of wonga. Over the years, entertaining features like bronze and silver cups have gone, but there's still some less intense elements to Ultimate Team that are fun. Draft mode is slick, and solving squad building challenges can be a nice change of pace from actually playing matches. It's probably quicker than playing matches because you're constantly playing defensively all the time. Away from Ultimate Team, FIFA boasts a fairly normal head-to-head mode and some gimmicky game variations like no rules or mystery ball. Pro Clubs, which lets you take on the world as an individual player alongside a team of friends, has always remained extremely fun and perhaps underrated amongst gamers. A good Pro Club session with your mates is pretty tough to beat. PES has similar modes in every regard. Its Ultimate Team equivalent is My Club, a mode that goes big on letting you have a squad of iconic superstars without spending money. You can improve the stats of individual stars, train them for different positions, and have more chances to differentiate your team from others. While that's great and it'll excite players who don't want to spend money, it's perhaps too easy to get an amazing squad. Still, it's hard to be too harsh on a mode that doesn't rely on pay to win. PES also features plenty of online co-op options, and you can even team up in My Club with friends using a combination of each other's squads. Although far from perfect, the PES servers are more stable than FIFA's, lag and disconnects are less common, and the servers don't drop out as much. It's fair to say FIFA's online modes have a greater sense of occasion and certainly are more widely known outside the gaming bubble. Which side you fall on will largely come down to Ultimate Team. On to offline modes now, and traditionally, FIFA's career mode is one of the most loved ways to play the game, but unfortunately, it's been left to rot in recent years. If you've played career mode at all in the last century, you've basically experienced what FIFA 20 has to offer. The same can be said for PES, which features a Master League mode that largely rests on past glory. Like the rest of the game's presentation, FIFA's career mode looks better and it's more polished, but it's also the most prone to being completely broken. Many issues have plagued this year's version, and quite often, there's not a quick fix. If there's a fix at all, which, spoiler alert, there usually isn't. Of course, FIFA has fully licensed competitions like the Champions League and Europa League. PES players on PS4 and PC can patch these in with a simple download, but Xbox users are stuck with fake versions that don't really cut it. Away from these modes, FIFA 20's edition of Volta was meant to put street football back on the map, and it just didn't. The mode is slick enough, but the story section plays out like an even more cliched version of the journey, and that finished in FIFA 19. Volta is fun with friends, but you wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't included in the next game. Just give us a proper FIFA Street game, complete with a giant Peter Crouch and a bulldog Gennaro Gattuso. Of course, FIFA also has skill games and the kickoff section mentioned earlier. It's absolutely crammed with stuff to do. If you're not into PES's Master League, FIFA easily comes out on top in this area. So there we have it. A breakdown that should help you pick the right game for your tastes. Remember, there are absolutely no right or wrong answers. Less time arguing about which is the better game leaves more time to get angry about the real debate. Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi.
And that is